All right, thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Senior Assistant City Attorney Gutierrez, can you please state the closed session items?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There are no reportable actions for closed session tonight.
Thank you. Planning Commissioner Mann, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. You want to do before or after roll call? Senior City Assistant Attorney, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Prior to roll call, I would like to make a clear record of this meeting, and it should be reflected in the minutes that this city council meeting is being conducted pursuant to California Government Code Section 54953, in that Councilmember Mike Judge is on board a cruise ship Norwegian Bliss, and he is participating telephonically. In accordance with the Brown Act, the teleconference location has been identified within the notice and agenda for this meeting. Madam Clerk, it would now be appropriate for you to conduct roll call, after which I would like to ask the mayor to recognize me in order to confirm specific items for the record.
Councilmember Ayala,
Here.
Councilmember Rhodes,
Here.
Councilmember Judge,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Litster,
Here.
Mayor Kavanaugh.
Here. Senior Assistant City Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to request that Councilmember Judge respond to the following questions. Councilmember Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Were you able to hear our proceedings on this end up until now?
Yes, I have been.
Do you have copies of the agenda for this meeting?
I do.
Have you posted the agenda at the location where you are?
They are posted
Where did you make such a posting?
on the outside of the stateroom door.
Is your location accessible to the public such that any member of the public can participate in this call from your location if they wish to do so?
Yes, it is.
Is there any member of the public there with you now who would like to participate in the public comment portion of this meeting or otherwise address any agenda item for this meeting?
Not at this time.
I would like to now ask any member of the City Council to speak up at this time if such council member has not been able to clearly hear Councilmember Judge. Hearing no comment, the record should reflect that all council members present have indicated that they are able to hear Councilmember Judge clearly. I would like to now advise the mayor and council members and the city clerk that any votes taken during this meeting must be taken by roll call. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. Agenda review. Are there any items for agenda review?
There are none, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
I move that all resolutions and ordinances presented tonight be read in title only and all further reading be waived.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Ayala,
Yes.
Councilmember Rhodes,
Yes.
Councilmember Judge,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Litster,
Yes.
Mayor Kavanaugh.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. If any member of the City Council may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time. Councilmember Judge?
I have none.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and members of City Council, the first item on the agenda is item 1D1, presentation of a certificate of commendation to Stratis Perros, being honored as a recipient of the United Way Milton M. Teague Award for outstanding community volunteerism. And City Manager Samantha Argerbright is here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and council members. Tonight, I have the pleasure of inviting Environmental Services Director Stratis Perros to come forward to be recognized. The United Way of Ventura County has selected Stratis as the recipient of the Milton M. Teague Award. He will be honored this Saturday at their 21st Annual Spirit Awards Gala. Milton M. Teague was one of the founding members of United Way of Ventura County in 1945, and this award is presented annually in his name to recognize individuals for outstanding community volunteerism. Stratis joined the United Way Volunteer Board of Directors in 2023 as the City of Simi Valley's representative. The Board of Directors governs the United Way of Ventura County by setting core policies, guides community impact strategies, and helps raise funds to support local health, education, and financial stability programs. In June 2025, Stratis was elected to the Board of Directors Executive Committee as their chair-elect, serving as the vice chairperson. Stratis also serves on various United Way committees, including the Board Development Committee and also on the Public Policy Committee. Not only is Stratis being recognized for the time he has dedicated to the United Way, but also for his volunteerism with other nonprofit organizations where he serves, including the Housing Trust Fund of Ventura County and the Housing Land Trust of Ventura County. Please join me in congratulating Stratis tonight on earning the Milton M. Teague Award.
We're so very proud of you for this. Congratulations. That's a big recognition, especially United Way. That's our entire county, I believe. So that's a good thing for us, and you make us look good. So would you like to say a few words? He always wants to say something.
Thank you, Mayor Kavanaugh. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody. I am very honored to be able to have an opportunity to talk about the United Way for those of the folks that don't know about it. It does so much good in this county for the health and human services, fiscal, education, tax services, healthy smiles, teeth, dental assistance for underprivileged youth, homeless assistance, disaster assistance. If you don't know about United Way, please learn about it. Please contribute. It's a great organization, as well as the Housing Trust Fund and the Housing Land Trust, which provides for, encourages affordable housing to be constructed in our county to support everybody in the county. So they're both great organizations, and I represent the city for these three boards. And I'm not up here by myself tonight. I have so many people supporting me, and if I could just take a moment, I just want to thank a few of them. First and foremost, City Manager Samantha Argerbright, my boss. She was seeking for a volunteer a few years ago, and I decided, like, I'll do this. And ever since then, she's done nothing but support me every step of the way, and she made tonight possible. So I really appreciate Sam. She's a great boss. We're very lucky as a city to have her as our city manager. She's done fantastic. Thank you. To the entire City Council, the City Council supports all these organizations and the work they do and everything. Dee Dee and I had the opportunity with the Housing Trust Fund to share some fun moments at their the Compassion Campaign earlier this year. But they are always there with us, lockstep with these groups and all the nonprofits and all the groups and all the boards and committees they serve on. They should be getting an award as well. I want to thank Mitchell Sloan with the United Way and the great staff he has over there, and Linda Braunschweiger with the Housing Trust Fund and Housing Land Trust. They make my volunteering easy because they do a great job. I want to break the fourth wall here and look in the camera and thank my wife at home, Kara. I feel like I'm in a Woody Allen movie. My wife supports me every day and to do all these things. Simi Valley is a city of volunteers. Next month, we're going to be recognizing all the volunteers, whether they're our planning commissioner back there, like Alan Mann, or our neighborhood council members, the CERT. There's so many people that volunteer in this city. I just had to get in on the act. And so being able to accept this award on behalf of everybody that supported me is truly an honor. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Stratis. Congratulations.
Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 1D2, presentation of a certificate of commendation to the Simi Valley 16U Pony Colt World Series participants and team member recognition for receiving the Batting Champion Award, and Senior Management Analyst Heidi DiNardo is here to present this item.
Good evening, Mayor Kavanaugh and members of the City Council. Tonight, it is our pleasure to recognize an extraordinary group of young athletes who made history this summer. The Simi Youth Baseball 16U Colt Team, 16 Red, was formed in May, bringing together local high school freshmen and sophomores with a simple goal: to play baseball, gain experience, and compete throughout the summer. But along the way, something much bigger happened. These young athletes became a team. They developed a genuine camaraderie, played one another rather than as individuals, and created the kind of chemistry their coaches describe as simply special. After winning 2 of the 3 tournaments leading into All-Star competition, the team won 4 straight games to become Super Region champions, earning a spot in the West Zone tournament, representing the entire western half of the country. There, after suffering a heartbreaking 1-run loss and being sent to the elimination bracket with an extremely unlikely path of advancing, rather than being discouraged, however, they adopted a simple motto: "We are not losing this tournament." And they meant it. They battled back to win 4 consecutive games, including 2 victories against the Southern California powerhouse, to become West Zone champions and earn a trip to the International Colt World Series in Marion, Illinois. At the World Series, they competed against teams from the Bronx, Mexico, and Austria, and shared the experience with young athletes from Illinois, Puerto Rico, Texas, and beyond. And in doing so, these young men accomplished something truly remarkable. They became the first team from Simi Valley and the first from Ventura County to ever advance to the Colt World Series, which has been in existence for 73 years. Very nice, Susan. Let's stop on that for a minute. Tonight, we congratulate the players, coaches, and families of the Simi Youth Baseball 16U Colt All-Star Team on an incredible season, a historic accomplishment, and most importantly, for representing our community with teamwork, determination, and pride. As I call your name, please come on up. Players Carter Acosta, Owen Ball. You can stay up there, Carter. Owen Ball. Connor Barwick, who also was the Planning Batting Champion Award. I'm going to add that he had the best batting average of any player on any team in the World Series. So impressive. Isaac Elizondo. Wyatt Fennell. Dylan Ferguson. Thomas Ho. Sawyer Jackson. Reed Mars. Dylan Molnar. Cade Monica. Ryder Morehouse. Blake Owlett. Makai Saiki. Shane Smith. Christian Torres. And of course, the coaches, Mike Smith, Marty Monica, and Luke Barrett. Congratulations.
I had the pleasure of meeting with them before they went. What a great group of young men. And I did tell them baseball's my favorite sport, so that helped out. I actually watched your 2 games on YouTube. The first game, oh my gosh, it was such a heartbreaker. But you guys played great. So very proud of you. Representing Simi Valley in California, what a great accomplishment that you've all done. And coaches and parents, thank you all. I know how much time it takes being involved in anything All-Stars or travel, and you guys just did a great job, and we're just very, very proud of you. But there's a Dylan Molnar. Dylan Molnar, is it your birthday? Happy birthday. But they're just a really special group of guys. I enjoyed meeting with you beforehand, was rooting you on the entire time, and I'll let your coaches say a little something now. Who wants to start?
Thank you very much for the recognition. We really appreciate it. It was truly a magical season. This group is incredible. The coaching staff was incredible. The parents were so supportive. It was truly an honor to represent our league, Simi Youth Baseball, the city of Simi Valley, and Ventura County, really. So being out there playing teams from other countries, other states, it's something I know I'll never forget, and just being there with these guys, I know they'll never forget. So the coaches were amazing, and thank you again for your recognition.
They're like, he said it all. Okay, let's make some better pictures. Do a double row here, some of you. You guys are young, you can sit on, you can kneel down. Do you have a captain on the team? No? Okay. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Yeah, yeah, there you go. You guys are pros at this already. Congrats. Congratulations, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And gentlemen, yes, you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
But you can if you want.
We're losing our entire audience almost.
Okay. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 2, public statements on appointments, special presentations, and informational reports. Madam Mayor, we have no speakers in person, but we do have one speaker online. I'll have to find out if it's for this item or for item 4. Speaker online, if you are participating by phone and wish to provide public comment for this item 2, please raise your hand by pressing *9. Otherwise, we will call you for item number 4. We will proceed to the next item. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 3C1, Visit Simi Valley Program Update by Anthony Angelini, Director of Tourism and Government Affairs.
Welcome, Mr. Angelini.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council, and city staff. Thank you for the opportunity to provide this update. My name is Anthony Angelini. I'm the Director of Tourism and Government Affairs for the Simi Valley Chamber of Commerce and the Executive Director of Visit Simi Valley. Councilman Judge, I see you're joining us for the Norwegian Bliss, conducting some live tourism research on behalf of the city. And I'd like to thank you for your commitment to the subject matter.
Oh, you're welcome.
Tonight's report will cover our budget, our digital footprint, and our local occupancy rates, but it all comes down to one big idea, that tourism is economic development. Our work is to turn the assets Simi Valley already has into overnight stays, local spending, and a stronger community. Before we begin, I'd like to explain a little bit about Simi Valley's Special Tourism Marketing District and what that means for our residents. The Tourism Marketing District was first formed in 2014, and it was renewed twice in 2019 and 2024. In 2024, it was renewed with 100% participation from the 6 hotels in our city, and it was renewed for a 10-year period rather than a 5-year period. When a visitor books a room at one of the 6 lodging businesses, a 2% assessment funds this program. The city collects it, retains a 1% administrative fee, and the remainder supports tourism services. The funds are generated by visitors and dedicated to tourism. This structure keeps the program local, focused, and accountable. Our marketing reached a significant audience this year. 207,730 website sessions, 2.43 million Facebook impressions, 319,000 Facebook video views, and nearly 75,000 Instagram Reel views. The exposure is important. Expedia found that more than 60% of consumers use social media for travel inspiration, up from 35% just 2 years ago. We are actively pivoting and adjusting our methods all the time to accommodate for changes in the industry, user behavior, and especially how AI affects search results and booking patterns. Our next step is conversion. Attention becomes valuable when it produces a hotel referral or a room night. We've built the audience, and this year we will give people clearer reasons and easier ways to book. Visit Simi Valley is more than just marketing for the city. Our strategy to fill hotel rooms includes serving as a community partner and supporting events that elevate the total profile of the city. Our goal is to bring hotels, attractions, events, the city, and local businesses together around one shared visitor strategy. That gives visitors reasons to love our community, not just to stay here. The current plan includes $89,000 in event partnerships, including a $12,000 event growth fund. It can support proven multi-day draws, regional events ready to convert visitors, and community events with room to grow. This also follows national trends. U.S. travel reports that domestic travel accounts for 87% of travel spending, while cost-conscious travelers are increasingly choosing shorter regional driving trips. Expedia's 2026 research also identifies cultural moments and events as major trip motivators. Simi Valley is well positioned for this. Millions of people live within driving distance, and we offer the Reagan Library, open space, film history, arts, festivals, and an easy visitor experience. The hotel results show why this focus matters. Full-year occupancy this year was 70.8%, down 4.4 points, and room revenue declined 10.3%. June was our strongest month, where occupancy reached 73.8%. Revenue per available room also increased 5.4% from May. While these numbers are on the decline, they are, in fact, in line with national and regional trends. Simi Valley outperformed the national average of 62.3%, the California average of 66.6%, the Los Angeles annual occupancy rate. We got within 0.5% of Agora Hills, and most importantly, we beat Thousand Oaks, so I can breathe a sigh of relief there. Some factors affecting occupancy: the statewide decline in international travel. Visit California reported that overseas visitation fell 5% in 2025, Canadian visitation fell more than 20%, and international visitor spending declined 4.4%. International passenger volume at LAX was also down and approximately 2% across our exact fiscal year. Simi Valley participates in that Southern California visitor economy, particularly through the Reagan Library, through family travel, executive travel, and regional driving itineraries. A smaller pool of international visitors means fewer potential hotel stays through the region. As you may know, we are in our final year of spending down an inherited surplus budget. We spent $449,920 last year, $132,580 below the authorized ceiling, and our actual deficit was $82,423, finishing $100,000 better than the adopted plan. This year's plan projects $370,000 in net assessments and $390,000 in expenses, with planned reserve use of $20,000 and an estimated ending carryover of $18,315. It's a lean plan, a responsible plan, and we will continue our commitment to monitor spending closely with transparency and require every dollar to serve a measurable tourism purpose. Our priorities are straightforward: convert attention, invest by performance, support hotel demand, and report clearly. Together, they create a simple operating rule: follow the visitor from the first impression to hotel referral to overnight stay, and show our partners and the public what happened. Simi Valley already has the history, scenery, events, and the people of a destination. Our job is to connect those pieces so more visitors exit the 118 freeway, stay the night, spend money in our local businesses, and leave with a reason to return. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Angelini. Councilmember Rhodes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you. That is a fantastic report, and in the years I've been on here, we haven't had that type of robust information of, hey, what are we doing to attract visitors? And so thank you very much for that. I had a couple questions. One on occupancy. How did the Sandy fires and the displacement of people affect occupancy? And did we see an overall drop in occupancy because we had an inflated number to begin with?
Yeah, so regionally in Ventura County and most of the cities in Ventura County saw more than 8% occupancy increase last year, which is probably one of the reasons for the decline in the occupancy rate this year. But the evacuees, emergency personnel, service members, people, they use Simi Valley as a home base for a lot of that, which was responsible for a huge increase in the occupancy rate, but also now this year, we don't have that, so now it declined a little bit.
70% is a pretty awesome number, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
The other question I have is the forward-looking one. We have the Olympics in '28 coming up. What can we as the city be doing in conjunction with your committee to better prepare us for tourism for the Olympics?
Yeah, very excited about the Olympics, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of regional partners, and actually the Ventura County has a regional Olympic task force that they're about to launch to, and it may even include things like an arts festival or local draws that will bring in some of those people. My focus needs to be on educating the new market that's coming. So as a marketing firm, we need to be able to tell people, here's how to get to Simi Valley, here's what public transportation options you have, here's what regional hotels you can stay at, here's why you should stay here, and build that market that way. We saw during the World Series that we didn't really get a huge bump from that. Now, most of it was Inglewood or pretty far away, whereas now we're having the Valley is hosting a lot of skateboarding stuff, and we have the skateboarding museum. And so there are regional draws, and there's reasons for people to come to Simi Valley, and so we just need to educate the customer and make them come here and tell them why it's such a great place.
Awesome. Thank you again for the report.
Mayor Pro Tem Litster.
Thank you, Mr. Angelini. And I want you to know that I saw Mr. Angelini this morning dropping off his kindergarten daughter who did not want to go to school without looking at her dad 100 times.
She walked backwards.
She walked backwards the whole time. I just had to share that. So he cleans up really well, but I want you to know he wears multiple hats. But actually, my question is with regards to you chatted about, or you gave us statistics about money that's been allocated or budgeted for support of event partnerships and for basically, as I understand it, increasing the reason for people, helping to increase the reason for people to come and stay here at Simi Valley, if I'm not mistaken. And I think you gave a statistic of 89,000 you have available for event partnership, and then I think an additional 12,000 for growth.
That is built into the 89,000.
That was my first question. That's built into the 89,000. Okay, thank you. Is this money allocated because this is part of your pay down the surplus you inherited, or do you anticipate this an ongoing part of the budget?
No, so we're done with the surplus.
Okay.
We are now operating with exactly what we have. And the hotels agree that investing in these local events has been good. So we try to pick events that are have the ability to grow into regional draws. We try to pick events where, at the very least, we're marketing Simi Valley to groups of people who are here in town for an event when they're here. It's important for the hotels, but it's important for getting room nights that not only are they coming to Simi Valley, but they're having a good time when they're here. And then as far as marketing goes, any kind of event that elevates the profile of Simi Valley is important, because nobody's coming to Simi Valley to stay at one of our hotels. They're coming to Simi Valley for another reason, and they just so happen to be staying at one of our hotels. And the hotels know that. And so this is a way of responding to that as well.
And I think it's great that that's built into your program. I guess the question I had is, if I were starting something, which I felt might be something that would bring in people from all around California or whatever, how do they find you? How do you find them? What's the magic? Is there magic, or just
It's, I'm
you just get your
I'm
ear to the
findable, but
ground?
anthony@simichamber.org is my email address, and then call the chamber anytime, but I'm happy to look at anything and pass it along to the tourism board as well.
Well, and that's my question. Is it determined by tourism board, or do you have, I'm sure you have a lot of discretion and should.
There's an other category where there's discretion, but there are a few events that happen every year that we're pretty committed to making sure that are successful. The film festival, Oktoberfest, the Happy Face Music Festival, Roundup. These are things that we know are regional draws already, and we know that they happen every year, so we know we want to keep supporting them.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. Councilmember Ayala.
Thank you. Councilmember Rhodes brought up the Olympics, which I think is a good one. And you mentioned that there's a task force. Do you have a seat at that table?
Yes, I do, and I'm hoping to chair the Arts and Culture subcommittee.
Because I think it's really important that there's someone at the table advocating specifically for Simi Valley. So like, as Mayor Pro Tem said, it's not just so much people having to hear about it. We're actually part of the development of that message going out to everyone who's looking at the Olympics. So I'm glad that you're there. And then looking forward, you had talked about a lot of plans you have in place, improved conversion rates, event partnerships, things like that. So if you were to come back a year from now, how would you know that these things worked? What would be your measure of success for the plans that you presented tonight?
I would hope to still be beating Thousand Oaks. That's my number one goal every year.
Yeah.
But I would say 73% to 75% would be amazing occupancy. I'd also like to see higher average daily rates per room, because what we're seeing right now is the average daily rate per room is going down. The hotels are getting older. We're filling them, but the hotels can't charge as much for them. So we're positioning ourselves as a value destination, which is great for the local national trends and travel trends, and it's great for occupancy rates. But as far as revenue goes, it's not so great. Revenue is going down even though occupancy is going up. So there's a lot of hope. I'm very, very excited about the new owners of the Grand Vista.
Because they're going to be doing some renovations, right?
They are committing to doing a full renovation. You'll see some hotels will say, oh, we did a soft renovation, and it means they switched out the sheets. But they're going to do a full renovation with the carpets and the furniture and making a lot of really positive changes to that place, which will mean that they can charge more. And user experience will go up too. It'll be better for everybody.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. I know one of the things we talked about at one of the meetings was packaging items. So visit the Reagan Library and do this and have multiple things. So I know that's what the task force will be working on, some of that type of thing too. And we're going to get some higher rates in November from the Reagan Library's new exhibit. So I'm just waiting for that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to say what it is? Or?
It will be Princess Diana. So that will be a big draw to our community.
It'll be really cool. I'm very excited about it.
It'll be really good. It'll be really good. But thank you for all you're doing, Anthony. You're doing a great job. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you. Oh, sorry. City Manager would like to say something.
I just wanted to add on, the city also does currently work with Supervisor Parvin on the regional task force for the Olympics as well. So we do have a seat at the table there.
Perfect. Thank you, you're released.
Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 4, public statements. If you're participating by phone and wish to provide public comment, please raise your hand by pressing *9. While waiting to be recognized, please remain on the line and listen to the instructions. Agenda item number 4 is a time set aside for public statements from individuals who have submitted speaker cards, as well as those participating by phone. Because there are no public hearings scheduled for this evening, all public statements will be heard under this agenda item 4. Agenda items 4 and 6 are designated for public statements on all matters except public hearings, appointments, and informational reports. Speakers will be called on in the order their card was submitted and will have up to 3 minutes to address the City Council. Speakers participating by phone will be recognized after all in-person speakers have been called. When the city clerk recognizes you, you will be prompted to press *6 to unmute your phone before addressing the City Council, and you will have up to 3 minutes to speak. The mayor will notify you when you have 30 seconds remaining. Please also mute all other devices before speaking. Persons addressing the City Council are requested to state their name and community residence for the record before beginning their comments. Madam Mayor, unless you have any comments, we can begin public statements.
Just one thing, the lights come on, and when the yellow light comes on, that's your 30-second notice. Just wanted to remind people of that so I don't have to interrupt them. Thank you. We can move forward.
Ben Davis, Michael Shaw, and Dale Steineck.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and city staff. My name is Ben Davis, president of Piccola Tiny Homes here in Simi Valley. Thank you for your time tonight, for the 11th time. I want to use these minutes a little differently. I'm not introducing any new topics. I want to add up the 10 I've already made because the math tells its own story. In the year 2000, someone earning Simi Valley's median income could buy a median income home after 3.5 years of saving their entire income. Today, that same math takes 7 years. That's more than double. Meanwhile, a foundation-built ADU still costs $250,000 to $500,000 and takes a year to year and a half longer to build than a movable tiny home. And that is exactly why 51% of our 18 to 24-year-olds are still living in their parents' homes, not by choice, but by math. And the state isn't waiting for us to catch up. Simi Valley is required to build 2,800 housing units by 2029. And 5 years into that 8-year clock, we've built 1,300. That means there's 1,500 units we have to build in 2.5 years, a pace that does not get us there. As always, I'm not one to present an issue without a solution. Movable tiny homes can fill this gap. They are a clearly regulated, safety-inspected, third-party certified housing option that other California cities have already proven works. I've shown you the ordinance language. I've shown you the safeguard that keep RVs out. I've shown you the precedent. The ordinance is now being worked on, and a vote could come before this council within the next few months. That is wonderful progress, and I'm grateful for it. So let's take a step in the right direction. Let's give the families, seniors, and young adults of Simi Valley an affordable, dignified housing option. Let's do what's best for Simi Valley. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Madam Mayor, council, staff, my name is Michael Shaw. I'm glad to be here. Nice to talk to you. I wore this shirt. Oh, and I brought my current mentee with me, Josiah Trejo, back there. I'd like to introduce him because he's part of this. At my house this past weekend, he saw this shirt and he saw the Chivo Canyon, and he asked me, what's Chivo Canyon? And I was like amazed. I was like, somebody so close to me and doesn't know my history with whining and complaining about Chivo Canyon. And I said, well, you know, Chivo Canyon isn't just about the nasty pollution that is inconvenient for us to deal with. What it's really about is the failure of our government to do their one and most important thing, and that is to look out for the health and the welfare of their citizens. And when we let that environmental mess just get worse and worse, it's a perfect example of where we're sidestepping those responsibilities that you guys were elected to serve. It is no different, and it is another prime example of we just had the anniversary. I don't know if any of you guys were aware of this, but August 1st of last year, Michael Robinson was beat at the Regal Theater. Beat badly, put in the hospital. And my question to you guys is, what have we done as a body to look out for the health and the well-being of our citizens? So you guys ignore me a lot. That's okay. I'm a big guy. I can handle it. But I want you to tell Josiah here, when it comes time for comments, tell him, how is he any safer today than he would have been a year ago? Have we learned? Have we grown? Have we done anything towards the goal of what I've been bugging you guys about for the last year now? So that's one topic. Now I got to get off that topic. I get all mad. You guys know I'm involved with a lot of charitable organizations, and we're always trying to come up with public service events to do. Well, as we know, you're not supposed to park within 20 feet of a corner. And so with the city's blessing, I'd like to make like some of our public service tasks of painting those corners red, making the streets safer. So before I go down that, throwing it out to the Kiwanis or the Rotary, I want to say that the city will be on board with, yeah, we can paint some curbs red to help out the city to let people know they shouldn't park there. Okay, that's all I got. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I've been really busy. Oh, first of all, I should say I'm Dale Steinick, Ultimate Locations. That's my company. I have been really busy since last City Council meeting. I have been busy adding to my sign listings of locations all over Simi Valley. I now have close to 30 listings, both private homes and businesses. With each client, I teach them the process of pre-production, production, and post-production, because I believe education is the first and foremost thing to do when teaching anyone about the film business and locations. I have been simultaneously contacting production companies and location managers of major TV series and a few films in the rewriting stages. My thoughts as related to President Kennedy: it's not what the country can do for you, it's what you can do for the country. So I took the liberty with that statement. It's not what Simi Valley can do for you, it's what you can do for Simi Valley. Simi Valley and the council, as we know it, wants filming. If you have, anyone out there, if you have received my flyer, business card, contact me. Bringing more filming to Simi Valley could bring in more revenue. Production companies shop at local restaurants, stores, gas stations, and sometimes, a lot of times, thrift stores. That's revenue. With the work that I'm doing, it is not if more production companies will film here, it is when. For all this to happen, the citizens of Simi Valley should want to help Simi Valley in any way that they can. We live here. Filming can possibly help the Simi Valley economy. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Jamie Sanchez.
Before I begin, I want to acknowledge continuously that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Chumash people and honor their enduring connection to this land and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. Good evening. My name is Jamie Sanchez. It was great seeing some of you this weekend supporting a veteran event. The organizers did an amazing job, and it was even better seeing our community come together. I told myself I have a goal. When I turn 50, I'm going to run the LA Marathon. I have 8 more years to do that. So I live with chronic pain from a car accident that was over 10 years ago. And some days showing up is hard, but I continue to show up and continue to stand here for those who are unable to. Last year, I spoke about Suicide Prevention Month and the importance of checking in on one another. And I want to mention it again this year because awareness can not be limited to 1 month or one speech. For many people, the pain is ongoing, and so is the need for support. Sometimes showing up means listening, reaching out, and simply reminding those that they are not alone. It's also Pain Awareness Month. Both issues are personal to me, especially as a veteran. The struggles carrying home with them, that veterans carry home with them, don't always end when their service ends. It's also National Hispanic Heritage Month, a time to recognize the history, contributions, and resilience of Hispanic and Latin communities. As a veteran, I know everyone's experience is different. Your gender, your religion, job, branch, duty station, and experiences after leaving the military can all shape your life. Imagine being deployed for 10 months on a ship and finding out your father was detained while you're 1,000 miles away. Imagine serving your country and then coming home and not feeling welcome in your own community. These aren't just political issues, these are human issues. And that's why it meant something to see people come together this weekend. No judgment, no politics, just people showing up for one another. But I have to ask you, what about the people in our community who are vulnerable right now? Have you shown up for them? Have you reached out to the families of the 54 constituents from our community who have been detained? Have you attended a kermesse? Do you know what that is? A kermesse, I'm not saying it correctly, I'm sorry, my Spanish is bad, is a community gathering where people come together, often raising money to support families and people in need. These are the very people I'm asking you to show up for, families who have loved ones ripped away from them, because leadership isn't just about showing up when it's easy, popular, or comfortable. It's not a popularity contest or a social media moment. When you're in a position of power, you have a responsibility to show up for all of your people. Veterans deserve that, immigrant families deserve that, children, every resident does. You don't have to agree with everyone you serve, you don't have to understand everyone's experience, but you have to show you care about everyone you serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez.
Madam, that was the last speaker in person. Janet, do you have anyone online?
We do not have anyone online.
Madam Mayor, that was the last speaker. Next item is City Council.
Madam Clerk, sorry, they raised their hand. They'd like to speak.
Are they muted?
Yeah, I am. Can you please unmute yourself? There you go. Put in staff PC. Lucy. Hello?
Yes, this is Anthony Thompson. Thank you for having me speak tonight. I planned on speaking on something else, but there was a Ventura County Star report that came out today, and I want to speak about that a little bit. So I'm glad that Freddie Mac is coming to Simi Valley. Don't get me wrong. That's more payroll in the city, and that's a great thing. Now say that out loud, but then look at the scoreboard. Aero Environment just announced today that they're building a $100 million campus in Moore Park. And that is going to be a consolidation of all of Ventura County operations there. Of the 1,000 jobs, 722 of those were right here in Simi Valley, and they won't be here soon. That's not a rumor. That's an exodus with the date on it. It's an enormous amount of tax revenue that we're going to miss out on year over year. I think if we stack up the office jobs and think that makes it even, we don't really understand how wealth is created. We don't need to replace the production line with desks and call it a win. I call it a downgrade. You know, I spent 30 years in aerospace as an executive leading 47 manufacturing plants worldwide. And I'll tell you what ribbon cuttings won't tell you. Losing 722 manufacturing jobs and backfilling them with office jobs, that's one of the worst trades in economic history. And it happened right here with us in Simi Valley. So Freddie Mac, what they do, they move paper. Aero Environmental, they build hardware that defends this country. They both can belong here, but the truth is that they're not the same jobs. They're not the same tax base, and they're not the same future for a kid who wants to develop themselves as a trade instead of working in a cubicle. You see, a manufacturing job pays the machinist, it pays the inspector, it pays the trucker, the tool maker, and all the local vendors who gets a purchase order for being here in our city, it trains that 22-year-old person in a skill that's at Apollo or the adult school, and they can take those skills to the bank, obviously, and puts a real asset value on industrial land. And that's how you build wealth and keep the city and it make the business want to stay put. See, I don't blame Aero Environmental. I ran companies. Companies go where they can own the ground. They can run the production. They can grow. They already moved their headquarters out of Simi in 2021 to Virginia. Now the work is following. It's not bad luck. You see, Moorpark outplayed us, and they've been doing it a lot lately with this move and the development of High Street, amongst other great strategy and really good plays. That's a city that lost their office tenant while gaining a defense manufacturer and plan for the future. You don't wait until the moving truck's already reserved and starting to act and say you want manufacturing. We need all of us, the business leaders, the
You have
owners,
10 seconds left.
the leaders. Okay, the leaders, you guys there, to be out there talking to brokers and property owners to prevent the next Aero Environmental, because it's festering. We should welcome Freddie Mac for sure.
All right, your
And our
time is
hair
now
should
up,
also
Mr.
be on-
Thompson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, we have no more speakers. Next item on the agenda is item 4A, City Council comments regarding public statements.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Davis, you come in consecutively now for 11, or is this 12? This is 11. This is 11. And you bring us good information. I think it's important to be accurate as you're presenting the information. And some of your, what you said was maybe could be construed differently. So first, not all ADUs cost $250,000 to build from a foundation. That's an example. Just wanted to be clear on that. There are some prefabs that are much cheaper to build. And two, your quote is CME is required to build. That's false. CME is required to allocate space for things to be built. And the number that you mentioned was what's called the RENA allocation. I am currently the chair of the RENA subcommittee for SCAG, and when the next number comes out in a month or so, we have the committee that divides up this massive number to all the jurisdictions. We have to come up with a formula to do that. And we will have a new number that we have to allocate for, but we don't build. And that's why, to your point, it's so important to have options like ADUs to fulfill that RENA number. But we, as a city, our responsibility simply is to say, here's a way we could get there. But if builders won't build, then we're not going to make it. And so I just wanted to be clear on that point. And know that we're on the same side. I just wanted to get clarity in that number. We're not going to build a unit, but we'll allocate. Let's see. Mr. Shaw, just so I'm clear, Chivo Canyon is the seep, the oil seep? Okay. So you have brought that to us before. I think we've pointed out that it's a natural oil seep in the county, not in the city. And if that's the case, when we annex the lands and it becomes something that we really need to dive into, we can, but it's outside of our jurisdiction. So you can keep blaming us for not doing anything about it, but it's outside of our jurisdiction. So trying to make us look bad, that's on you. And lastly, I want to address Mr. Thompson's comments, but I think, City Manager, you might, or?
I'm happy to do so if you'd like me to.
I might fill in after if you don't cover all the things that I want.
Sure. So obviously the city recognizes AeroVironment as an excellent partner and employer in our community. We received the news today as well that they were going to be relocating to Moorpark. We believe, actually, we don't have it substantiated, but we believe that the building that PennyMac is vacating to come to Simi Valley is the building that AeroVironment purchased. Now, again, that is speculation at this point, and unfortunately that we don't love to lose jobs in the community, but what I will say, the benefit is that if we can find a silver lining, is that at least the jobs are staying regionally local. The support jobs that support AeroVironment will continue to stay local and will not leave the region, which continue to employ a number of people. Had they relocated out of state, which was one of the big concerns, we've been talking to AeroVironment for years about their desire for a campus environment. And unfortunately, in Simi Valley, the locations that we had available and had worked and spoken with them on did not meet their needs. And so those conversations had been ongoing, and obviously it is very disappointing to lose them to a neighboring community. Again, grateful that the jobs will stay local, and hopefully the residents that live in Simi Valley and work for AeroVironment will just make their commute a little bit longer. And certainly we will be working very hard to fill the vacancies left in those buildings. One of the positives that we will see is that PennyMac will be relocating here toward the end of this year. They'll be bringing about 1,000 to 1,200 jobs. And while those might be different jobs, they are bringing those to our community. And then AeroVironment, we will have an overlap while they are still in our community, and PennyMac is also in our community.
Then if I could just add one more thing to Mr. Thompson's comments. I think you heard from our city manager that to imply that we were not at the table and not in negotiations and doing everything that we could to find a campus that worked for AeroVironment is, I think, disingenuous. And it's just as frustrating. Your frustration is not wrong. We hate to lose that company from our community, but to imply that we were somehow inadequate in our attempts to get them to say, I think is disingenuous.
Thank you. Councilmember Ayala.
Okay, for Mr. Davis, I want to correct something you said too. You said we might be bringing this up in a few months. I think more a couple months is probably a more accurate statement.
We'll be bringing that forward in October.
Right. So we should see something soon on that. Mr. Shaw, thank you for speaking. And about the curbs, we should maybe, I don't know, not now, but think about if people are willing to pay for it and do the work. I don't know.
One thing that I would like to look into, though, because if we're going to paint curbs, that would typically be a job that our public works employees could do. And then we have to look at if that would be supplanting a current public employee. And with our unions, we have to ensure that we wouldn't be getting sideways with them. So that's something that we would have to look into. And then I do want to also just correct the Chivos Canyon. Councilmember Rhodes made a comment that it's in the county. I believe that the area that we've discussed previously is actually Simi Valley Park District land. So, yeah.
So you can also go to the Park District meeting and talk to them about it, which, by the way, I think they were starting to address it because when I went to the Park District meeting, it was actually a topic that they had brought up. So they might have more information for you. And then Ms. Sanchez, thank you for speaking again, for always being so inclusive about who we need to remember is being affected in all different walks of life. And it was good to see you this weekend supporting the veterans as well. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Litster, your name disappeared, but are you
Oh,
still?
yes, I would still.
Okay.
I may have.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've displaced it. Actually, I wanted to just say, respond to some of the questions and also share some things. Mr. Michael Shaw, thank you for bringing Josiah tonight, and thank you for your willingness to sit through this and be part of this whole discussion. So I want to say thank you for mentoring youth and making a difference. You asked a question: what has the city done specifically about the incident that occurred a year ago? I think, first of all, we shouldn't. I think it's appropriate to recognize that there was crime committed, and the people who committed crime have been prosecuted and have been paying, and there are consequences for their behavior. And so, albeit that all of that criminal, I mean, obviously, some of that is handled by the city, and then it gets moved up to the DA, et cetera. But I want to first be very clear that it wasn't a case of where crime and awfulness was committed and there were no consequences to the youth who participated. So I just want to say that. Secondly, in that instance, I think you are negating, not appreciating the efforts of our youth council, who are a part and an arm of the city and who specifically took that event to heart and did a variety of activities from anti-bullying to discrimination to et cetera, et cetera. You can go through the whole list and you can talk to Mr. Ryan Fowler, who's here, and he can outline the many, many activities that they spearheaded this past year just to shine a light and cause awareness. And additionally, I believe you gave us books, which we read. We attended the gathering to learn more and become better educated. So I just want to be very clear that I think that there has been some desire truly to address what you are concerned about. And I believe that our city manager also may have some thoughts or insights specifically about the Michael Robinson situation.
Mayor, would you like me to address that now, or would you like to make comments before that?
You can go ahead, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that opportunity. As Mayor Pro Tem Litster said, the Youth Council did take that incident to heart, and as the Youth Council is the leadership arm related to youth issues for the City Council, they actually created really a collaboration of efforts to ensure that there was peer-to-peer communication and relationship building in a variety of capacities. So, and they recognized really the scale of the event to the community and how important it was to address it. So they worked with city staff, Mr. Fowler, the school district, to ensure that they could coordinate campus efforts. They worked with Building Resilience and Inclusion Through Engagement, the Bright Group, which supported the media creation. They worked with the police department to offer subject matter expertise and build collaboration and those relationships between law enforcement and youth. And then they also worked with the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute to provide civic education expertise and really a venue for a youth safety forum. So they collaborated with multiple different agencies. They did the Youth Impact Forum, where they convened middle school and high school student leaders for a day of education, dialogue, and planning. That was at the Reagan Library. And they had a variety of speakers from the mayor to the superintendent of schools, representatives from colleges, and they talked about discrimination, cultural differences, and advocacy. They had hands-on learning opportunities there. They had presentations from SVPD on online safety, teen dating violence, human trafficking, variety of things there. They also worked on their Stop Bullying Month campaign, which they do annually, but they really expanded that opportunity that year. And that was, they also promoted their Unity Day last October. As a result, they had 2,500 students that were actively engaged in that. And then they also continued to continue events into the spring. They actually partnered with the Simi Valley Police Department on May 22nd, 2026 for a teen wellness night for interactive activities to create positive and informal interactions between officers and youth. So the Simi Valley Youth Council really took that to heart and really put all of their efforts last year into ensuring that there was education and support related to that incident.
Thank you. And Mayor, if I might just add two more comments to my thanks. So thank you. I wanted to also say thank you to Del Steinek, who maybe she left. Okay, just want to say thank you to her that not only is she trying to get customers, she's reaching out to people who film and provide. And I just want to say thank you for recognizing that you need to bring in film, being part of the solution. So and that effort. So I want to say thank you to her. I wanted to say thank you to Jamie, who comes and brings her daughter, and thank you for being here. I saw Jamie at the 13 Souls of Kabul, and I just want to call her out for being there, sitting in a booth with James Espinoza, who is part of the project, which is trying to mentor veterans and provide support with veterans who go through have tremendous emotional needs, et cetera. And I just want to say thank you, Jamie, for not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, and being there as a mentor and being there in a place to make a difference. So I just wanted to say thank you to that for you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Judge, did you have comments?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No, I have no comments. You guys have covered it pretty much. I'm just glad the stuff I did want to say was covered. I appreciate everybody for coming out and sharing your thoughts and talking about stuff here in the city. That's all I have.
Thank you. Yes, I think we covered pretty much everything on here today, all my notes. I enjoyed the 13 Souls Remembrance, Ms. Sanchez. It was a wonderful event. I missed you. I went by that booth, but I didn't see you in there. I would have made sure I said hello. But I'll be honest, that was my first time attending that event. And I was very, very deeply touched and moved, and thought it was a wonderful event. It was participants in the running. Mayor Pro Tem even did the bike part. She did the bike part, so she represented the city very well. And having a nephew who's currently deployed, it makes it even more, brings it even more home, into the heart. So they did, Mr. Van Volt and then Vets in Valor did a great job. I was very impressed, and it was a wonderful event. I hope we can continue to do it. This was the 5-year anniversary, I believe. And so that kind of put a little bit of another spin on it too. But I think it's something that Simi Valley could be proud to do every year. We have our Veterans Memorial. We do Veterans Day. We're very veteran focused here. And with the different groups, I think it's something we can continue to support our veterans. So thank you. And that will be all of my comments.
Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 7, the consent calendar. And there is one resolution for your consideration this evening. Consent item 8, resolution number 2026-43, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley approving the final map and accepting the public improvements for track number 6018.
I'd be happy to move the consent calendar unless you weren't fast enough.
I would like to pull something, if I might, just to have just a little bit of information, if I could, and then I'm happy to go right along with that, if you don't mind.
What item would you like to pull, Mayor Pro Tem?
Actually, I would like to just have a quick conversation about item number 6, which is awarding the contract to Tara Enterprises, which basically is going to redo the road for LA Avenue from Erringer to First Street, which is fabulous. I mean, that is a heavily trafficked road, et cetera, and I appreciate that it was a competitive bid, and it looks like you selected the right person. I guess my question, thank you for coming forward.
Do you want to move the rest of the consent items first, or?
You have just a quick question?
Just a quick question. I think it might be brief. I didn't read it in the report. Thank you and I should have reached out. My question is that LA Avenue is a major bike thoroughfare, bike corridor for traversing across the valley. And I know there's been discussion in the past about what the bike lane should or should not look like. On that particular stretch, I believe it just becomes one of the major car lanes. There's not specific separate bike lanes. I may be wrong. Do you know if that's going to be examined in the process, or do they simply restripe it exactly how it is? Or could it be part of the process? I'm sorry.
It can be, and we will make it part of the process to look at that.
Well, okay, if you would.
I can't answer exactly.
That's fair enough, and I didn't give you a
now
heads
and
up. My
what's
bad.
going. I'm sorry. I just don't know the detail.
No, it's all right. And as your planners look at that, you'll see that it is a major thoroughfare. But I know that I've had bikers who have not felt as safe going through that section because there's not separate designated bike lane just in that major section, but maybe it's not possible.
Between First and Erringer specifically.
Between First and Erringer, and I believe, isn't that exactly where this is being?
That is exactly where this is, yeah.
And this is it's a, delighted that you're doing it. It obviously is a major commercial spot, so thank you.
We'll also want to look at the bicycle master plan and see what's referenced there related
Well, and
to
that's
where we start.
Yeah, I recognize that's part of it, and so I thank you for making that part of that planning. Of that,
Of course.
I appreciate it.
And I'll circle back through the city manager on this. Yeah.
Beautiful, okay, thank you. And I absolutely approving this, but I just would love that to be part of it.
Thank you. Before you do that, I was going to point out 6 to make sure that the community knew we're going to be repaving that great stretch of road. I wanted to make sure that was noted. And as well as item 4, we're purchasing a new asphalt patch truck. So we'll be able to keep our roads even better. So that's one of the things people talk about. So we got 2 things on the consent agenda for that today. So I wanted to point them out. Now you can do your motion. Now you're tired.
I'd like to move consent.
Second.
Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Ayala?
Yes.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilmember Judge?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Litster?
Yes.
Mayor Kavanaugh?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 8A, second reading of ordinance number 1374, approving a change of zone Z-S-2025-0003 and specific plan amendment SP-S-2025-0002 for the Los Canyons development and an addendum to the previously approved environmental impact report and mitigation monitoring and reporting program. The reading of the ordinance is as follows. Ordinance number 1374, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Simi Valley approving a change of zone Z-S-2025-0003 and specific plan amendment SP-S-2025-0002 for the Los Canyons development and an addendum to previously approved environmental impact report and mitigation monitoring and reporting program.
City Manager? Oh, never mind. Your name is still up. I didn't delete it. Good. Any questions, concerns?
I have no
Happy to
questions.
move
or
to second
concerns.
reading.
I was going to say, I'd be happy to move it too, but that's fine.
Well,
I'll
somebody,
second. Yep.
we have a first and a second.
Let's see, figure out who actually moved and seconded that.
Was that
Mayor Pro Tem first,
Oh, okay.
Councilmember Rhodes second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Call for the vote, please.
Councilmember Ayala?
Yes.
Councilmember Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilmember Judge?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Litster?
Yes.
Mayor Kavanaugh?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously. Madam Mayor and members of the City Council, next on the agenda is item 10A, City Council member reports.
Councilmember Ayala, you're up first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have Friday, August 14th, the grocery outlet reopening, I guess we should say. And just for the public to be aware of what Grocery Outlet does, they are not just a grocery store. They partner with the Simi Valley Unified School District Special Needs Program and also with Goodwill Industries to give their clients work experience and then jobs as well. So they do a great job in our city. They're just not a grocery store, but they're really providing a service to those who really need some experience. So if you can do your shopping there and support them, please do so. Saturday, August 15th, the opening of Krusty Crepes. And on Wednesday, August 19th, I attended the Youth Employment Services Committee. Anthony Angelini, who is no longer, he left earlier, he was voted in as the chair for the second year. So he'll be leading that group for year 2. I also attended the groundbreaking of a 200,000 square feet industrial complex, and that's over by, it's called Oak Park, isn't it? But it's not in Oak Park, it's called Oak Park. And so good things to come from there. I also had on that day my meeting with the city manager and then finished up the evening by going to the job fair at St. Peter Claver Church, which was very well attended by both employers and employees. And what was great about it is the employers were not just advertising services, they were actually hiring even on the spot. So they had people filling out applications. They even had spots for doing interviews right there in the hall, and were actually offering jobs for people. So it was a really great event. On Thursday, August 20th, I attended the Ventura County Regional Energy Alliance meeting in Ventura. We approved the new strategic plan for that group. On Friday, August 21st, I met with Congressman Brad Sherman, who came into Simi Valley and wanted to know how he could best support our community from the federal level. On Saturday, August 22nd, I did attend the 13 Souls event. I am not a runner, but I did do the 5K. And I was able to run all the way to the half mile without stopping and still complete the 5K, which is good. Which means on Sunday, August 23rd, I did nothing. No, I went to the Broadway Here We Come event that was put on by our Council on Aging to support Meals on Wheels. It was a packed house, so a lot of good revenue specifically goes to Meals on Wheels. As you guys know, a lot of funding has been taken away specifically for our Meals on Wheels program, so it relies a lot on donations to keep that running. And so a big thank you to Betty King and Josephine Perini and the staff at the Senior Center for putting on that event and raising those funds. And today, Monday, August 24th, I attended the swearing in of our newest officer, Jacob Clifford. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Rhodes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On Tuesday, August 11th, I had a chair briefing for the first RENA subcommittee meeting, which on Thursday, August 13th, we had the first RENA subcommittee meeting. The point of time that we are right now is the regional housing needs determination, which is how they are coming up with the number that will then be given to SCAG, which then gets disseminated. This is the moment in time where we can have some input and pushback on what that number is. I said, hey, why don't we just skip it this year? And they said no. So on Friday, August 14th, Mayor Pro Tem and I, as part of the NHL subcommittee meeting, I think is that the proper name of our subcommittee, we went to the Isoplex and met with the owners there to understand their business model and hopefully be able to address concerns and opportunities. And I appreciated that meeting. I learned more about hockey and owning an ice rink than I ever did. And now we can be appreciative of what they're thinking. I also attended that day the ribbon cutting at Grocery Outlet. And it's the first franchise for these owners, but I think that they are excited and they're probably going to get more. On Wednesday, August 19th, I also attended the groundbreaking of our new industrial building that's going up. That's very exciting. I'm still confused to this day. It's next to Oak Park, but it's not Oak Park. And
Oak Park Campground.
It's a park named Oak Park, but it's not even near Oak Park. Okay, I got it. Got it. I'm glad I got to the right place. That's all I wanted. And that evening, I sat on a Zoom. It's the statewide insurance market update that was put on by the state insurance commissioner, and the topic of conversation was how to build partnerships to lower insurance costs for high fire districts like Simi Valley is, and how do we get the insurance companies and fire resiliency people all together at the same thing to say, if we harden this neighborhood, how can we lower the cost for everybody and increase the opportunity for more insurance choices? So it was a valuable one to be on. On Thursday, August 20th, I attended a very cool event up at the Reagan Library. And it was a screening of a movie, Heroism and Resiliency of 9/11. Now, we've all seen movies about 9/11. This was not one of those. This was all of the tangential, all the other positive things that grew out of this tragedy, and celebrating those common individuals that raised up to have a heroic moment and build a better world. And lots of tears, lots of joy, and we had a discussion with the director afterwards, and I encourage you all, it's not going to be in the theaters, it will be streaming, and the name again is Heroism and Resiliency of 9/11. On Friday, August 21st, I also met with Congressman Brad Sherman, and he ended up spending an extra half an hour over what he was originally planned, which is great. That means we actually had some things to talk about. On Saturday, August 22nd, I also attended the 13 Souls run. She's not here anymore. I was going to comment about running the marathon. I ran it in '94, and now I'm done. I don't need to run ever again. And let's see, and then today I also attended the swearing in of our lateral transfer officer, Jacob, and that ends my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Judge.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On Friday, August 14th, I too attended the grand reopening of the grocery outlet store. On Saturday, August 15th, I attended the grand open ribbon cutting of the Krusty Crepes restaurant over on Tapple Canyon. On Wednesday, August 19th, I attended the groundbreaking for the new industrial park near Ventura County Regional Park named Oak Park. And on Thursday, August 20th, I attended nope, I didn't do that one. That's about the end of my report.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Litster.
Thank you. This has been back to school time, and so Tuesday, August 11th, I went with my grandson to find out who his teacher was. I want you to know the way they do it at Hollow Hills. You get a scratch-off card, and you stand there, and you scratch it with your coin, and you find out who your teacher is. So anyway, which you don't win $5, but you are given a ticket to go over and get your free icy or your free at the, anyway. The line was so long, we didn't do that. But it was, anyway, fun to be back to school. And so congratulations to all you parents who are dealing with traffic and getting there. And that, of course, school started August 12th. I should say that evening on August 12th, I attended the Department of Energy's Connect Community Update, where basically they are giving updates on the Santa Susana Field Lab and what is taking place there. But specifically, they featured Ventura County Fire Chief Matt Falat. If I'm saying you're here. Thank you. And I will say he did an excellent job. He really did. He explained well the efforts that were engaged in, and also the tremendous efforts they did in maintaining the fire line and keeping the fire away from Santa Susana Field Lab. And so thank you for that presentation. Very informative, very instructive. Also, okay, that was the 12th. I'm sorry. Let's take it chronologically. Friday, August the 14th. First, I also attended that ISOPLEX meeting. Very educational. I learned, I truly was. I don't think I recognized what a jewel, the extent of the jewel we have in our community there. And so very much appreciated Scott's time. Secondly, I also attended that ribbon cutting, and one of my favorite places to shop, so encourage people to continue shopping there. Third, attended actually a get-together at the Salvation Army's food pantry, which is on LA Avenue. Met with Darlene and appreciate the efforts there and what's being done. She has a tremendous, I think there are 9 different outlets that are providing food and clothing and a variety of things, and so she's just a heart of gold that that meets the needs of so many in our community. So I wanted to say thank you to Darlene. Wednesday, August the 19th, when I returned from my quick trip out of state, it was lovely. Lake Powell, I won't go more there, but it was lovely. When I drove through the night so I could get back in time on the 19th to attend that ground breaking on Quimish Drive, Hanover Company. It was actually very fun to see the huge earth-moving equipment that is used to basically turn 13 acres into workable space, and it was very. Thank you. I want to say thank you to Miss Heather Smgeisai, who truly coordinated that. I think, and so appreciate what she did for that. Another comment on the job fair. I did not attend, but better yet, I got my son, who needs a job, to attend and helped on the resume improvement side. So anyway, actually, I just want to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for their efforts in putting that together for our residents. Truly a big effort, and I understand that the attendance was one of the largest that they've had this year, with tremendous attendance. So thank you for their efforts and for employers that showed up for that. On Thursday, August the 20th, I attended the VCOG's, Ventura Council Association of Governments administrative meeting, which is basically the planning meeting where they discuss what's happening behind the scenes and plan for the large board meeting. What I thought was interesting yes, they discussed LEAP grants and et cetera, and the status of those, but they also talked about agenda item, and it appears that flock cameras are of issue throughout the county, and so that's going to be our next discussion item, just a better understanding of how that's affecting our communities. Also that night, back to school night. Like I said, it's back to school. Friday, August the 21st, I too, along with Councilmember Rocky Rhodes, attended the meeting with Congressman Brad Sherman and his assistant, Scott, was that his name? Scott. First of all, I wanted to commend him for being proactive, and obviously he's not our congressman right now. That's in January. Is that when it's official that we be? Well, first he has to win the election. Assuming if he were to win the election, regardless, that we will have a new representative, and so he was proactive, reaching out to us, assuming he wins the elective. It was interesting that he talked about earmarks, and of course, as we know, congressional people often have access to funds. They're no longer called earmarks, we learned. They are, what were they, community action? Community project grant funding. And so I appreciate that our city manager had a good list of things that would specifically benefit our city. And so appreciated her preparation there. And I think we all had some things to add to that list. Saturday, August the 22nd, yes, bright and early, we attended the 13 Souls of Kabul commemorative event. I want to thank Mr. Jeff Von Molt for his efforts in putting that on through the years, and then also want to thank Vets for Valor for stepping in and basically saying we will underwrite and partner and support this to make it doable again, because it is so much work. And I will say, yes, I biked my 13 miles, which I've done for 5 years in a row. And I've only crashed twice in 5 years. One time was a couple years ago when I was saluting one of every mile they have the placard up that talks about each of the lives lost. And I was paying homage to that and ran into another biker. That was one time. But this last time, the U-turn was just a little tight on gravel. So I just want you to know that I'm taking one for the team.
You're a hazard.
So, I was wearing a helmet. I wear a helmet, and no harm, no foul. I was absolutely fine. I just wanted you to know I'm confessing my sins publicly. That's all, or my ineptitude, one of the two. But again, I just want to say thank you for that effort. They had more attendees, more participants. I think he said that they had 700 registered participants. And so thank you for everyone for being part of it. It truly is, we are unique to have that commemoration here in Simi Valley. So thank you for everyone that participated. Sunday, August 20, actually, also on that date, afterwards, the mayor and I attended the ribbon cutting for Kids and Things with their new ownership, and lots of loyal clients there, and it was just a very great gathering out in the sun. It was a wonderful time to turn over. And yes, Carol was in attendance there, and I gave her a little hard time for being too busy to come show. I'm joking, but it was nice to commemorate her as well there publicly. Sunday, August 23rd, also attended the COA, the fundraiser for Meals on Wheels. Yes, thank you to Betty and Josephine for all their tremendous efforts. This was the last in their series of fundraising, so thank you to them. And also welcome to Officer Clifford, who is now on our force. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. On Tuesday, August 11th, I met with the city manager, with Maggie Kesley, who is the property manager for various industrial complexes and properties, and we did have some discussion about AeroVironment at the time. So it's been an ongoing issue, but it was a good conversation. We're going to make that a repeat one, that we meet on a regular basis so that we know what's happening in the industrial area a little bit more detailed. On Saturday, August 15th, I attended the ribbon cutting for the Krusty Crepes. What a great event. It was a little family owned and operated, and hopefully our community will support them. And I missed the re-grand opening of the grocery outlet on Friday. So I went over on Saturday and met with Michael and Jesus, and it was a great conversation. I was there probably 40 minutes, chatting with them and watching people come in and out, and they have a really good turnout. I saw a couple people I knew, coming in, so it was nice. But those two gentlemen are very, very excited about their new business, and they are a great addition to Simi Valley and keeping that store open and available for the community. So thank you to both Michael and Jesus. Then the following week, I took some time off and went out of town. My friend and I went wine tasting down in the Temecula area. So I missed a couple of things for that. Too bad. It was a good time. Friday, August 21st, along with City Manager Samantha Argabright and this Chamber CEO Kathy Van Etten, we were invited to attend a get-together called Lead Like Her. And it's two young ladies from Santa Susana High School who are starting the club, Lead Like Her, and it's to promote girls into STEM careers. So it was very, very good, very extremely organized. I think Aditi and Sarah, I think, were the two young ladies. Very detailed, very organized. They had questions for us ahead of time. They did a great presentation. I can see they're going places, the two of them. So, but it was a lot of fun also. On Saturday, August 22nd, I also attended the 13 Souls Memorial in the morning. Great turnout. It really was a great turnout, very well organized, had everything, all the different things. The pipes and drums are always a favorite of mine, so that was very, very nice to have there. A lot of people, a lot of booths. I walked around and talked to quite a few of the people. And then I also went to the ribbon cutting, kids and things. That was very, very nice. Yes, Carol sold it, and the new owner is Michaela Schock. I can't remember her last name correctly. Her first name is Michaela. She's so excited to be doing this. Her and her family were there, and just you could see the excitement, the changes she's going to make. There's nothing wrong, but she wants to put her own touch on things. And Carol was just right there with her. So it was really a great event, nice turnout. And then, I was supposed to also attend the Council on Aging Broadway. Was it on Broadway? Broadway, Here We Come. I purchased tickets, but my 5-year-old grandson's birthday kind of overrode that. So I was with him on his birthday. So happy birthday, Dominic. And that is it for me.
Madam Mayor and members of City Council, next on the agenda is item 10B, City Council member requests for future items.
Are there any requests? No. And I do not have anything on my adjournment list, so we can now adjourn our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.